back around. This is sad. Hey, family. This is the Copeland from the Couch Conversation. Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation. Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation Show. I am trying to see. I done made a mistake and turned this thing around the wrong way. So I'm trying to see how to turn it back around. Oh my God. Oh. I'm trying to see how you turn it back around. So stop playing with me. I might have to end this and do it again. I'll just delete it. But, yep, end it. Let's go in it right. That's what I love about, why are you still turned around? Come back around. Come on. Come back around. Come back around. Okay. Now, let's set you down and don't you turn around again. Okay? I'm not playing. See, that's why I gotta get me a cover for this. I like the covers. I like the covers for my phones and stuff. Okay. Let me try you again. Hi. Hey, family. Hey. Dang, it's hot in this hat. Hey, family. This is Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation. Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation. Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation Show. Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation. Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation. Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation Show. Now, guess what? I'm trying to see, is my Instagram streaming right this time? This is my TikTok. This is my restream. But look, I thank y'all for tuning in. I'm a little disappointed about some things that wasn't made clear to me about my court situation. That wasn't made clear until I talked with someone today. And I'm back on the home monitor until March. Unless my lawyer can, talk with a judge and convince them to take me off before March. But anyway, because I was convicted, I'm like, of these charges, right? Basically. So that wasn't the agreement. And I just said I wasn't gonna say nothing about it, to come down and talk about today's basically topic. And where I'm going with this is today I'm talking about the 12 steps spiritual program. I'm sharing about my journey from being clean today, a day at a time. January the 26th, God's willing. I don't want to pick up. I don't want to use nothing like that. But I'll have 32 years, a day at a time. And the reason why I come on is to share that with people who have family members or people that might be struggling themselves, to help them understand what it is to come off of whatever you're doing and stay off it a day at a time. If you have an addictive personality. Now, for me, I like that word, addiction, because basically I didn't realize I had to practice. I had to learn to practice some self-control and discipline over my life, you know. So I can't go real far without basically, because this is my 12-step spiritual journey. My 12-step spiritual journey. That's what the topic basically is. My 12-step spiritual journey. And I came through the process of the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous. So I have a sponsor who's basically like a friend to me. He's been in my life since day one, but he started sponsoring me, I think, around about my 5th year in recovery, maybe my 2nd, because my sponsor got deeper into the church, which is okay because that tends to happen with some of us. Once we get clean and we get a God of our understanding, that God can be, as long as it's a power greater than you. You know, it could be other people. I used to hear people say it could be like the doorknob. It can be this, it can be that, but it has to be greater than you. So in my process, I seen all of this, but I came to believe first in other people who, even if they had like 30 days clean, 90, 60 days clean, 90 days clean, that was amazing to me. I used to, getting clean wasn't a problem. It was staying clean. Hey, what's up, T? It was the stand clean for me. You know, I ain't had no problem with not using for like 3 months, 4 months, 6 months. So my buddy was sick. I didn't use until, he felt better and we was able to do what we do. But I didn't and I thought I was a successful user. You could not tell me I wasn't successful as using, because I would use and I clean up my mess, put it away. Then we go cop and did it again. I would pull it back out, clean up my mess, put it away. I was taught how to be responsible, like pay the bills, cook, shop, all this type of stuff, which my mother taught me. And plus, at a very early young age of 14 years old, I had a summer job. So to me, I was a very responsible dude, but I end up getting caught up. Right? So so this is what I had to understand. And not only that, and I have to share a little bit about my using, because I don't know who might be out there that needs to hear this. I only talk a little bit, right? Because it's not about what you did. We're not worried about what you did or how much you did or who your connection was and stuff like that. We're not worried about that. It's what you want to do about your problem and how we can help. Now, when I came around, right, and let me go back here first for some of y'all that just coming in. When I first came around back in 1993, they would not, if you was new, you could raise your hand and say, hey, my name's Steve C and blah, 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 and you let them know you knew. But now we have a tendency of allowing the newcomers almost hold up the whole meeting. And be honest, I'll shut you down. And the reason why I'll shut you down, because that's the way they taught me. They told me things like, if we want to know where the cop, we'll ask you. So I'm just trying to read what you said to Terrence. So basically, in order for me to help people identify, it doesn't matter whether you spiffed it, you did this, you smoked it, it didn't matter. The point was you was trying to sedate your pain, and I'm talking about me. So it doesn't matter what you use or how you use. Our goal is helping you get to that pain, right? The process of recovery. So in that process, It was suggested that I do some things like a 90-90, sit on the front row, take the cotton out my ears, put it in my mouth. Even with almost 32 years now, if I see an open seat up front, I'm going up front. It's just a habit now. It's just a habit for me. I don't care to be in the back with the older people running off in my mouth like I got this thing, because I do not have this thing. It's not to be gotten, right? So anytime I come in, I'm going to go towards the front. I'll speak, hey, how y'all doing, blah, blah, blah. But I'm going towards the front because the goal is to listen, to learn, and learn, and listen. That's the goal. I had to change people, places, and things. But to get back to this a little bit, I started smoking weed at 11. I started drinking at 13. I started bipping at 14. Cocoa. I liked the cocoa better. And I started snorting, and then I started shooting between 14 and 15. I asked my cousin, I said, can you shoot this? She said, yes. I said, hit me. And that's what started the ball to rolling. I used all of my teenage years, all up to about 30. 30 years old is when I yelled out and said, God, please help me. Because my life was spiraling out of control. Now I'm sharing my experience, strengths, and hope. So guess what? If you in this religious area and you don't believe in a certain name, the name of Jesus Christ, as your Lord and your Savior, understand this, it's okay. It's okay. Because that relationship for me had become personal. Even though I understood as a Baptist person, I can't say preacher, as a person that went to a Baptist church, I went to a Baptist church because we was having a meeting downstairs, so I went upstairs. And getting to know and understand scripture a little bit more and stuff like that. Living accordingly. And then for about 3 years, I winged away from the church. Now I ended up going back to the Church of the Redeemed. This is a non-denomination. He teaches strictly from scripture. So when I walked in the room, right, it was like I was hearing him saying, he was talking plain and simple, like if I was in the rooms. He was real plain and simple, except for some of the cursing that we tend to do. And he broke it down so plain and simple that a 5-year-old could understand. So I didn't understand the difference between preaching and actually teaching until I got over to the Church of the Redeemed. Right? Now, I don't care personally, because I sponsored people that didn't do, oh my God, come on, I'm out. Y'all just do this, piss me off. I sponsored people that didn't do what I did, right? The way I did it. And I sponsored people that didn't go through childhood issues that we talk about too, molestation, rape, all that type of stuff, I sponsored people that didn't go through that process. They just wanted to be part of. So that's how they became. And I think the word, I don't know, was it addiction? Because I had to use, I have to change that D word on here, right? And that's what I try to do. But if they restrict it, they'll look back at it and see that, it wasn't meant in a malicious way. So after, when I started over at the Church of the Redeemed, right, 2009, I became an ordained deacon. And not realizing I had a calling on my life. I felt something was there for the longest time. So the reason why I'm saying that, because a lot of us we are in the 12-step program, and this is like the last stop to a lot of us. But that's not what God said. See, God started guiding me in another direction. I had some years clean. And he said, I need you more out there than in here. So I'm in the streets helping other people to understand you can turn your life around. Rather it's I'm ministering to you, or rather I'm just real simple and having a plain conversation with you. The goal is to help you get that spiritual connection. You get me? That's the whole goal. So that's why I do what I do. Because number one, I never know who I'm talking to. I never know. So whoever I'm talking to, either that's God using me to direct that message towards you. I always wanted to help the multitude, but I realized the multitude may not get it. But you have to know that what, like dealing with certain people, you have to know how to approach them. Like some people is not familiar with the 12-step program. I can't come to you straight out and say, oh, you powerless over your such and such and such, and your life had become unmanageable, if you don't really understand that process. Because I didn't. You could not tell me that I was powerless over what I was doing, because I thought I had the power and all the control. Plus, I was running stuff in the streets. So you could not tell me. That's why I try to help people understand this day that, and I'm talking, when I say people, I'm talking about our officers in the streets. I try to help them understand that when you live in a corrupt way of life, for some of us, that's the right way. That's a normal behavior. I did not know that I was practicing a crazy, deranged way of life until I came out of it. And I looked back and I was like, oh my God, I didn't realize I was poisoning the community until I came up out of it. So, you know, the old statement, right? I was once blind, but now I see. I was once lost, but now I'm found. So you have to go through some stuff. And this is what I found out being in the rooms. I can only share my experience, my strengths, and my hopes. So basically what I'm saying, you got to go through some changes and learn to recover from it. A lot of people don't realize that. That's when you have a message to feed people back. Once you have worked up out of that situation, out of that struggle, then you can tell somebody else the process of coming up out of certain things and stand up out of it a day at a time. I don't do no drug laws. I don't do it. If you call me to come out and do something, a meeting, my goal is spiritual. So a lot of times when I share, I'm called certain names like pastor, bishop, because they know I don't do a lot of the stuff that a lot of people in NA. I don't go to the little dances. If I pop up in the dance, they be so shocked. Oh my God, look who here. Because they know I don't really care to do stuff like that. Now, it's not to say once in a blue moon, I might not pop up with somebody else. But if it's for me to go by itself like that, no. I don't need going clubs and stuff today. And like I said, if I pop up, right, you be shocked. And it's always one of those, what are you doing here? But it's okay, because most of the people that been knowing me a day at a time for the 31 years, they know certain things I do and I don't do. And I'm not one of those that talk a certain way, but then walk the opposite. Early on, going through some little changes and learning from them, I understand. Because we fall down, we fall short, we make mistakes in life. But you learn from it, where you can go back and pull others out. That's why I call it my 12-step spiritual journey, because I learned to develop a personal relationship. So if you ever hear me say that I am a Christian, I'm not talking about the religion. I'm talking about the personality of a Christian person. I am loving. I am kind. I am thoughtful. I am considerate. And I can be angry. I can get mad. I can, get lonely. I can get tired because I'm human. So basically, what I try to help people understand mainly about a man, I'm a great man. You can't take that from me. That was taught to me by Barbara Jean, right? But I'm a productive man. But guess what? We also run across we have our little ups and downs and falls, and the point is getting back up. Getting back up. And this is what I try to teach people. We fall down, but we get up. I never thought I would be in the predicament I am in today. But see, God opened that door, and I walked through it. So what I'm saying when he opened that door is bigger and better things in store. Now I'm walking because I had to walk around the corner to find out where I can get a money order from to send to parole and probation. Now, mind you, I'm not real down with the courts thing. I'm not down with that. Not realizing when I took that plea deal, I plead this guilty to something that I basically did not do. I didn't do. And they know I didn't do it. But just because, I got a housing program. And when you come into my housing program, you have to sign up for the mental health program. But now I haven't had the chance to tell a judge this, who Steve Copeland really is and what Steve Copeland do. I haven't had the chance to tell a judge. So guess who told the judge or made their own decision about Steve Copeland? The police, the detective, and the prosecutor. Y'all a bunch of lying piece of trashes. Then this comes from a person that y'all know I didn't do nothing. The goal, we're going to get you anyway. And I wish I didn't see it. I wish I didn't see how it all starts with the police report, with the charges. The judge don't know whether they true or not. And guess what? The prosecutor don't know. Now, I'm saying this. And one report that they put out on me, I suppose it had a second-degree assault on a female client of mine, burglary on my own rental property, and business. This my office space is here. What I do my business out of is transitional housing. So you're going to charge me with a home invasion, burglary. This is what the police did, which he actually knew it was a housing program. But the courts don't know. I'm talking about the judge. And I think they working in cahoots. Now come and get me. Because this is my talk show. This is my talk show. And the sad part about it, y'all let me see how y'all do, how y'all take innocent people and is guilty. It ain't no innocent until you're found guilty. It's not no innocent. It's guilty until we find you guiltier. Because that's what they call themselves doing. Off a bunch of lies. And I listened to her say it in court. We know you didn't do this. We know you didn't do that. But basically, you are guilty by helping other people. That's what you get, black man, and you shouldn't have helped them. Because you're trying to help better the city. It's a flip. And the sad part about it, I'm like, God, why did you allow me to see this? Now I'm gonna tell y'all the reason why I'm sharing that. Because I said I wasn't gonna go there. Because number one, my life has turned around. Almost 32 years now of living a productive way of life. If I'm down City Hall, if I'm speaking in Annapolis, if I'm speaking in DC in front of Congress and them, you cannot tell me that, I was going to say low bottom, right? You cannot tell me that an uneducated man can't turn his life around and be successful. Because you're looking at one. And it took some other people, this officer, and when I get a chance and they say I can pull his name out, I'm going to call his name. And the detective. Because if you did me like that, I can only imagine how many other people y'all done it to. In the Eastern District. And my goal is just like y'all. Y'all go out there, and I'm talking about the police officers. Your goal is to go out and to protect and serve. My goal is to go out and embrace the community and living a better way of life. So now y'all mad at me. That's where it came from. I almost called his name. You mad at me, officer, because we out there arguing. And it's about 15 other police who badge numbers and stuff I have that I was told to report to Internal Affairs because they are harassing you, Steve. Because I got a big mouth. And it's not that I try to use it in a negative way. That's not the point. I am a human rights advocate. So what we do, we fight for your civil rights, your equal rights, and your constitutional rights. I just caught a lift back home, right? The young lady was telling me they put her out the library because it was a girl who was dressed up like a guy, Butch. I'm gonna say Butch, right? And she didn't call the girl like a boy or yes sir, you know, stuff like that. I said, well, I do out of respect. Now, they didn't transition, but she got put out the library. She didn't realize that's a form of, and I'm trying not to do the word racism because it's not racism, but it's a form when you don't, even though it's a female. God dang it, I hate when I get brain freezes. But y'all know what I'm trying to say. Because that person lived the way they live, we don't have the right to, I'm trying to get the word. This is what happens when you get old, when you start getting old. Because they have rights. And it'll come. But basically what I was trying to tell her, as a human rights advocate, I cannot take no side. Because because we fight for the LGBTQ rights and all that too. We fight for your rights. We fight for wherever you Black, brown, Indian, Jamaican, whatever. You have rights. So we fight for your rights, the organizations that I'm with. When you don't say something politically correct. Well, if you're talking about that statement, right, that I just said, I told her that out of respect, right? Now, mind you, too, because I am in a 12-step spiritual program, we don't pass judgment on you. Some people still don't like it. Understand? Rather you a woman portraying, butch, rather you a male, and yeah. But in the rooms, we respect you for where you at and who you are. It's normal people that tends to have a problem with somebody else's lifestyle. And I will ask you this, why? Why you got a problem with how they live in their life? You need to talk. Come here. You get me? Because you know why? When you go to the bathroom, that don't bother me. I mean, I don't, what you eat don't, you get me? So why are you mad? Is it something that happened in your life? Or you might have felt like you might have wanted to transition. I'm just talking about live a certain lifestyle, even though you're a man, and you're afraid people gonna judge you. I got you, special. I got you. So basically, what I was trying to tell her, I love it. I love, because if that's where you at and that's how you feel, that's fine. That's fine. But my thing is, I'm looking at her, and she looks like she likes. So when I was getting out, I started to ask her. But then sometimes people can't see their self. Because you can't see yourself, which you have a tendency of doing, you'll point fingers at everybody else because you haven't evaluated yourself. Or say like you had something done to you when you was younger. And y'all know, because I said I'm on TikTok too, so I have to watch certain language. So you had something done when you was younger, and you still dealing with it in the here and now. And just because people practice and do certain things, you get offended because of somebody else's lifestyle. So be truthful. And I'm only telling you, me as a sponsor, and the work that I have done with other people, and the work I have done on me to be able to work with other people, I will hear something that you're not actually saying straight out. So what I'll do, like, we can have our little private talk. And that's what I do with my, I was going to say sponsees, with the people that come into my housing program. I didn't realize, I knew what I was doing, but I didn't look at it as me being a life coach to them. I didn't look at it in that sense until somebody told me. They said, you know what you are? I'm like, no, I'm just a man that likes to help people. They said, you are a life coach. I was like, hey, because I always get titles, right? So the goal is, I don't care what your lifestyle is. I don't care who you is. The thing is finding peace, joy, and happiness within yourself. So now I shared this with her when she wasn't catching it. I said, I'm 62 and I date females half my age. And I said, I don't date women over 200 pounds. She said, that's different. I said, no, that's what I like. That's all I'm saying. So she said something about, well, they need to go to therapy. I said, no, they don't. You know why? Because you don't wake up one day and decide this is how you want to live. So this is something that's been going on throughout their life. And they just trying to find peace with it. What I just said. I'm 62. Now, and I haven't been in a serious relationship in 10 years. I didn't say I didn't sleep with nobody. Well, I haven't slept with nobody in 6 years. But I haven't been in a serious relationship since me and my ex-wife. So the only reason why I'm saying that, because now that I'm older, be honest, I know for a fact I need to date or be with somebody more around my age, because they're more understanding. They're more open. They can, season. They can support me more. Because now, if you come in my life, please don't tell me, because I help women and children. So I deal with women and children. Please do not come in here telling me you don't need to talk to women. You need to don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. I help women, children. I help men. And I'm a God-fearing man. So if you come in and you feel like I'm doing too much work on that end, and my goal is to balance it out, but if you feel like you want all of my attention, you're not getting it. Because I did that before and I got lost. Not again. And that's not personal. I want you to be that God-fearing woman. I want you to be doing what you're doing, in that field, and we come together and we talk and share our experiences and share about the great work that we're doing. You will not sit up there and do me like that. I had it done, and I said I will never let nobody else dictate what I do and how I do it again, even a wife. Y'all play that bull jump with somebody else. Because my goal when I got married the second time was to be a better man in this marriage than I was in my first marriage. Then guess what? I understood the difference between loving somebody and being in love with them too. So this person, I worship the grounds they walked on. I don't never want to get caught up with a human being like that again. When I separated, I was like this. It was like that's the first time I ever went through that detox process from a human being. I was like, wow, I was in the fetal position, but I was detaching from the human being. I didn't understand all that, but I understood that I never went through that using the other stuff. You know what I mean? Never went through that. So I'm just saying that because some people might not understand that you can become attached to a human being just like you would the other stuff, the addiction itself. So I realized that's why I said I don't mind that word addiction, because I'm the type of person that basically can't do one of anything. If it's something I like, I got some chocolate upstairs, right? And it's like a peanut butter chocolate. So I might take a spoonful. And then, it's like, then I might turn around and say, I'm gonna make me a little sandwich, right? Now I'm a diabetic. So y'all know I can't have a lot. It's not to say I can't have these things. I just can't have a lot. In the evenings, this is what I've been doing. Around about 8 o'clock, I'll eat dinner. But what I do, oh shucks. Okay, this is my Instagram. I put it in the stand. Hopefully it got the circulation it needed. So is my battery running low? That's why I said that's my Instagram. So I'll end that one and let it flow. But and I'm just sharing with y'all what we have to do as people with an addictive personality. And I understand it's my flesh. So I have to get my flesh under control. I have to tell my flesh, no, you can't have this or you can't have that, or that's enough right there. See, I didn't understand all of this, but this is what the 12-step program taught me. To practice some self-control and discipline. To thy own self be true. I can lie to everyone else, but I can't lie to Steve Copeland. You get me? Even though y'all might not know the truth, I do. And see, what my sponsor taught me early on, I don't know your whole story. But if you telling me something about you, I need to believe that what you telling me is the truth. That's a part of trusting you. Because a lot of times we'll say stuff like, I don't believe nothing they say. I don't believe this, I don't believe that. And it might not be true. But what he was saying is, unless you actually know, you trust and believe that that person is telling you the truth, right? Because that's a thing of distrust. And he helped me to understand stuff like that. I'm old school, so I'm familiar with the 12 steps. I'm familiar with the 12 traditions. I am familiar with the 12 concepts. 36 morals, values, and principles and structure of how to live a better way of life. Now, no, spiritual is not religious. No, I already know that, Terrence. But I'm going to share this with you, Terrence. The morals, values, and spiritual principles came from within Scripture. Now, I don't know if you studied that far, but there is a book out, right, where it takes you through Scripture as far as with the steps wise. I had that book years and years ago. Just like I was talking to, me and Cool was talking yesterday, and I was talking about codependency no more. That's an addiction within itself. Let me see. Make sure I'm not saying it to get restricted, because I know the other word I said and they will restrict you here. But I was talking about somebody that have a codependent personality of taking care of people who really don't deserve the love that we have to offer them. Everybody don't deserve our love, affection, and attention in our finances. They don't deserve it. But what we tend to do just to win their approval, we will try to fix them and feed them in that sense. So I got this Codependency No More book, ran about maybe my second year of recovery, and it talks about that behavior. And my mother always worked and was very independent in taking care of us. So she wasn't really in the house to do things. So she taught me basically on what to do. And my mother drank. So because of that, once she got into her spree, I just didn't look at the family, make sure the family was running right. I had to make sure my mother was okay too. And what that did, that put a lot of pressure on a lot of the youth like myself. That's why I don't do my kids like that. I don't do my kids like that. I teach my kids according to being age appropriate. Basically, what a 13-year-old should act like, a 15-year-old should act like, a 18-year-old, now 21, 23, and all that. I'm looking for you to be more mature now, mature. So with mine, I have to teach them, because I'll go back through the same process of getting older. And as you get older, certain things that you did in your 20s, you don't practice in your 30s. Certain things that you did in your 30s, you don't do in your 40s. Certain things that you did in your 40s, because it's about growing up, you don't do in your 50s. Now that I'm 62, a lot of the stuff that I did in my 50s, I don't care to do today. And it's not about being perfect. It's just that some of that stuff don't feel right no more. So I don't practice certain behaviors no more. Now, that stuff fell off over a period of time. Over years. And I'm going to say this too, because I love when my pastor said, some stuff, and this is more on the religious side or spiritual side, some stuff when you come to Christ will fall off you automatically. Now, that could be your own personal religion. I'm just saying, will fall off you automatically. Some stuff might take 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years. And when he said that, it helped me to understand that it's a process of surrendering and turning your life around. The majority of the people that I sponsored, they don't come back to the 12-step program no more, because they came in They did the necessary things to get their lives together, and they went back out into society to become productive members of society. And what I told them, don't forget where you came from. Just in case, that desire, let me say that, not the thoughts, because it's a big difference between having a thought and having that real strong desire to want to go back to using. And I want people to understand that. Then you have people who are real strong, just get to the point, I'm going to stop. I ain't touching this no more. I ain't touching that no more. And guess what? I admire that, because as time go on, you start realizing for normal people, because we the type that blow stuff way out of proportion, but for normal people, they have the strength and the power, the willpower within themselves to say no to certain things. See, we had to gain that through the process of these spiritual principles. So I used to watch my buddy Gary. Gary would say, if you don't pick it up, it can't get in you. That was coffee. Gary would say, and mind you, it took a while to sink in. And this was early on. If you don't pick it up. Now, I reached down to pick it up. So if you don't pick it up, it can't get in you. Ah, dang, that's good. And that's the type of stuff they was telling us early on. Then I used to listen to people like Big Mike and them, and Big Mike would rear back and he would scream as he talked. But I realized he wasn't talking to me. He was talking to the disease that was in me. Because I'm sitting here and my mind is all everywhere else, like outside and all that, right? But as he would talk, it was drowning it out. It was drowning it out. His voice was like talking to the disease thinking. I didn't understand that till later down the line. But what we do, you have to do it repetitiously. Pray, go to a meeting, don't pick up. Do a 90 and 90, because it has to become a habit. See if I can use that word. It has to become a habit repetitiously. Because now what you're doing, you're learning to do things in a different way. The same way you became addicted, or that lifestyle became a habit. Now the new way of life have to become a habit. That's why I was saying, if Safe Streets want me to come and work with their guys that's coming home, and they are using ex-offenders. For a lot of y'all that don't know, their only goal is to help reduce the bang rate. But when you got people that don't have new information in there, they're going to come home and they're going to practice the same old behaviors. And you wonder why. That's all they know. Not everybody now, but that's all they know. Some people just like, I ain't doing this no more, I ain't doing that no more, and that's the goal. Marlo Hargrove. Now, mind you, January 26th be 32 years. We work with ex-offenders, returning citizens, homeless individuals, veterans. So Marlo teamed up with Charm City Community. He partnered with them. Supportive housing. Marlo mainly works with men. I work with men, women, and children. So Marlo asked me to team up with him. So now if a male call me and I do an intake and he sounds like he, willing to do the necessary things, the work and stuff to turn his life around, we can bring him in. As long as you have Medicare or Medicaid. If you getting SSI somewhere, Social Security, you know what I mean. You don't have to spend your money. You come in because Medicaid gonna pay for everything. But we have professionals to help you turn the quality of your life around. So you have to come to the groups. You have to get tested, urine and all that. Make sure you're doing what you do to help turn your life around. So basically, you're in a temporary situation to be put into a permanent housing program. You're in a temporary housing program to be put into a permanent. And I've been putting this out to y'all that if y'all have family members, males, now I have females calling me for housing, but the ones I've been talking to, they either social service going to help pay for their first month rent and the security. But now I have to talk to landlords that's willing to work with them. So my thing is, how much can you afford each month without struggling? Because if you're paying $1,200, that's not including BGE and all of that. So before I put you in anywhere that expensive, I want to make sure you can afford everything. But it's not to put you in anything that expensive. That's why I reach out to homeless services and housing to see what type of programs they have that we can put you in a place where you won't have to struggle to pay your rent, your gas and electric, your cell phone bill. If you have to spend extra money for food, this is what I do. And most of the people that I talk with that has the same type nonprofit or LLC, we come together. The goal with that too is to look into these tiny houses, to look into container houses, to look into rehabbing and revitalizing houses, but no more than 120,000, because you can fix them up. And guess what? In the inner city now, in the inner city, you can fix them up. Basically, they put maybe 100,000 in, or maybe 80 in, but they charging you 3 or 4 times for their house. I didn't know that till a female told me. Said, Steve, you can do this right here. We already in the inner city. They wanted 350,000 for this house. She was like, Steve, you can do this for the poor community. I was like, her? And fix them up just as good. Yeah. So guess what? A lot of y'all don't know, some years ago, I had a loan in with some people I was working with for $5.4 million to rehab 30 units. Each house was to go for 180,000, but then you have that tax break, which where the house would have ran like 130. Once you get with these programs, right, where the house would have went to 130, then they paying for your closing costs. So say like that's another 10. So by the time everything is done and settled, the house is around about 120,000. So the goal but to get you in the house, working on your credit scores, where you could get in at about 1%, 2%, where your mortgage wouldn't be no more than prayfully $500 a month. Now, mind you, I ain't gonna say I had. The point is, once we start working like that again, I'll bring everybody back together. Because I had so many people come in who call themselves working with me, and we was going to do this thing, and I just knew we had it done. And next thing I know, I looked around, I'm like, God dang it, where they at? But see, you learn from each mistake, you know, because you're doing business. You learn. Well, that didn't work that time. So it's like, you know, I lost faith and trust, but God have a way of saying, look, I'm just teaching you. I'm putting the people in your life. Now I had to start. I heard, and I'm gonna say your name, Josh. I don't care. Cause look, Josh, I gotta say Josh's name right. Cause Josh would say, Steve, get with like-minded people and keep your circle small. Steve, get with like-minded people and keep your circle small. That's what Josh kept telling me. Get with like-minded people and keep your circle small. Now I'm trying to get with like-minded people and keep my circle small because now I understand what he was telling me. And he worked with some brothers that got his back. I'm like, wow, I need people like that. So now, mind you, he'll reach out to me, Steve, you got space for such and such and such and such. Now, if he sends some mails my way now, because they don't have the space with them, I can let them talk with Marlo, or I'll do an intake myself. But I know Marlo is kind of picky. So the goal with us is to sit down and we'll do it together. But Marlo knows what he wants from you. And my thing is, I'm not trying to be smart. If you just coming in, now we don't have no problem with working with you, but don't come in and hold up a bid for somebody that could really use it. That's all I'm saying. Don't do that. And I know some people will do that just to be off the streets. I understand all of that. But when you come in, do the work, so when you leave, you can be in an affordable place. If you only getting SSI, it's to get you into, say, like a senior citizen building for no more than $300 a month. And that's gas and electric and everything included. So that'll leave you with another $600 to play with the rest of the month. It's not a lot, but that's what we do. But you got to be willing to do the work. Now, y'all hear what I'm saying? Because right now, for a lot of y'all, I'm shut down where I can't move about the way I want. So this is my way of advertising the business. This is my way of promoting the business. Somebody going to hear me, like an investor, like somebody with some money that believes in the work that we're doing here in Baltimore City, and might say, you know what, I'm worth a couple of billion. Let me go ahead and invest about 10 millions into this project. Come on. Because with me, I'm looking for sponsors, business partners, and investors. I'm looking for people that's willing, and the thing is, I don't want you to lose no money. Don't get it wrong. So if you invest in our project, the goal is for you to earn an interest off your your money. And I got people that I need to call back. Can you because I know they do stuff around, right? So I'll be like, can we talk? We need to sit down and talk. That's why I do what I do, y'all. I'm speaking out and I'm speaking to somebody. If I tell y'all go on Google search, look up Steve Copeland. Go on Google search, look up Steve Copeland. It's going to tell you everything I basically do. It's going to tell you the social media pages that I'm on. Now, it'll send you to Instagram. It'll send you to my LinkedIn page. It'll send you to my Twitch page, which is X now. It'll send you to, I have a YouTube page. It'll send you to my social media pages. I have 2 lives that I live stream to too on Facebook. My regular Facebook page, which is Stephen Copeland 909 at yahoo.com. And my I didn't went a little too far on my Instagram, so it's going to cut off in a minute because the battery is low. I didn't expect for it to work, but I see a few people kind of looked in, and I hate to do this, but it's at 10. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this because it's going to click off in a little bit. It's going to click off, and I just don't want it to die on me like that. Why are you not stopping? So do I push my live? Why it's not ending? I hate this. I couldn't get on it, right? It wouldn't let me get on it. Said the connection was bad. Now that I'm on it, I'm trying to end it because I'm at 10% on the battery. And that's my fault because I should have let it charge before I rolled out. Why? Why? What is you doing? What is you doing? I'm trying to end it. And anybody that's willing to, oh, it's the three dots. I got it now. Anybody that's willing to, I'm gonna just push share the video. Um, Anybody that wants to like invest in what we're doing. Now I have some people who knows truly where I'm at, and they doing some awesome work around in Baltimore City too. And the goal is for us to come together so we're going to have to get some land. I'm gonna tell you this because I am looking at tiny houses. I am looking at container houses. I'm looking at a cheaper way for our inner city people. But I'm looking at two. We have to get property. Either you have houses on it that's condemned and you might want to tear them down and then rebuild on that, or you want to rebuild. Share. Share. Um, so I'm just saying this, y'all, because this been in the makings for some years now. And Bree Jones, I know you don't mind me sharing this. I met Bree Jones at Communities United, and Bree Jones is from New York, but she came here, and now she was able to get $60 million to start rehabbing and revitalizing communities now. And once I seen her get the approval or the assistance, I said, I'm next. So I had called her because she was looking for board members, but she wanted lawyers and people like that, right? Which is business, which I understood, but I wanted to be a part of what she's doing because that way we can work this thing together. So right now she's over there doing what she's doing, and I'm right here still preparing. Now, and the sad part about it, I live in Baltimore City. I'm from Baltimore. So when I went to North Avenue and it was Brandon Scott, Antonio Hayes, some more of our council members with this big developer right there near Pennsylvania and North. Over there where what's your name, Tokes, Bells Bonds and that, right? They're building new houses. I don't know if they build apartments or what, but they building right there in that little area. So my thing is, I said, what y'all gonna do about what's going on across the street? So when I went into the corner store over there, the guy didn't even know why they was all out there. So they didn't inform the community, and this is a businessman, about their project and what they're doing. And then to find out the Art Social Club had something to do with that as far as investing with that too. But see, the thing is, when you have a community, you in the community, and I'm just sharing from a community organizer standpoint, you make the community aware of the positive stuff y'all are doing. in the community to help build on that community. Now, catch my hint. Because I'm out in the community, letting people know what's going on, what's positive happening in the community, because of the other stuff that's happening in the community, taking each other down and stuff like that. I'm considered as this big mouth dude because I'm trying to encourage, embrace, inspire, and help people, the ones that want the help, to turn their lives around. Because y'all see what's happening. Some people was at a funeral, from what I understand. 10 of them. And I'm just looking at TikTok. 10 of them was bang banged. Okay. And one unalived. Now, y'all know I come from the streets. And I made a statement. Somebody said, how do you know that? Because one thing, the street talks. Somebody knew, and believe me, more than one, that they was going to go up here and do this at this funeral place. If it was one person, they might have did it without telling others. But if it was a few of them, just like everything else, they sit down and they talked about it. Because the point is, go commit the crime and get away with it. So people know. And whoever it was that went to do what they did, even the people, some of the people there knew who they was. Because it was retaliation from something. Now, I can share this. And the reason why I could share this, because I know how, back in the days when we used to do things, you never let your right hand know what your left hand is up to. That's not how they roll today. Because they want to brag and boast about it. So now, the goal is, if I knew, in a sense, I would try to encourage you and motivate you not to. And I would share stuff like this, unless you're ready to go to prison. Because 9 times out of 10, who did what they did, they gonna catch you. They gonna catch you. Because somebody already know who you was. And somebody gonna tell who you were or they were. Come on. And that's the thing where I'll be like, people don't think. And yes, they do. Because a lot of y'all, the whole thing is to go do whatever you're going to do and get away with it. That's all. That's all. And Donetta, I can't see if you type that over here, right? This is the Couch Conversation Show. Keeping it real. I have my own way, just like anybody else. I would never tell you how to deliver a message. Never. Know why? Because we all have our own style of doing things. So before I came on, the goal was to come on and be more professional. Now, what is being professional? If my topics, basically, when you look under Steve Copeland, the couch conversation, it's keeping it real. It didn't say nothing about keeping it fake and phony and playing games with people's lives. If you cannot understand the seriousness and what I do and how I do things, don't follow me. Don't follow me. Because I'm going to tell you, I'm on TikTok. So I watch a lot of people on TikTok. And I watch how they do things. Now, what I'm starting to do more now is reach out towards people that does couch conversations. And the ones that I've been running across is basically on there by themselves. And everybody had their own style of doing what they do. Some of them, some stuff that I came across, some people are YouTube. If you think I'm aggressive, please. So keep in mind, whenever we dealing with people, we dealing with a multitude of different personalities. I think you did. You probably said it on my Facebook page. I'm getting ready to look at it now. But I decided, keep in mind, I decided right that I prayed on it, all that stuff. I prayed not to, no, I think that's your show. I don't know. But I prayed, not to lose me in the process of what I do, you know. And whenever I come on, just keep in mind, I don't do an ordinary talk show. I don't do an ordinary talk show. It's a talk show. Excuse me. But I might talk about politics. I might talk about religion. Understand, I'm only sharing my experience with dealing with or being a part at one time, more based into the religion. Understanding the difference between spirituality and religion. I understand that today. But guess what? If I tell you that I have a personal connection, a relationship with Jesus Christ, see, you might not be there. But that's a spiritual connection. But you might not believe that, or you might not see that. But it's a lot of other Christ-like people like me that can relate. That's something I learned too in the process of doing what we do, right? Everybody don't see like the way you see it. And it's okay. I'm just one that the truth is the truth. I was told, right, and I'm getting ready to wind down. I was told to stop doing what I do business-wise, helping our homeless and less fortunate people. speaking out the way I do. I was told to stop. Now check it out. A lot of you would have stopped. Because a lot of y'all have stopped. A lot of y'all see what's happening with our people. I invite y'all to come out to like Communities United where we could fight a lot of this stuff that's going on, because it's by design. It's by design, the things that's happening. And I have asked people to come out and organize with us to slow a lot of this down that's going on in our communities. And a lot of people are afraid. Y'all think I'm not afraid? Y'all think I'm not afraid? When I sit here and I tell y'all that I got into it with the Eastern District Police and what they did with these fake charges to arrest me, that was their way of shutting me down. Do you think that feels good to me? Do you think from time to time I don't want to come on here and share? But guess what? It's like in my spirit. And now the goal is to be more consistent with the Mondays, the Wednesdays, and the Friday show. And then Saturdays at 2, the Teen Talk show. Do y'all think I don't, I don't give a freak and I'm not concerned about me? The point is, I'm not no chump. And the thing I realized, I'm 62. I never expected to get this old. So who you think been protecting me? And when that time come, which I don't know when, but I tell you what, I guarantee you a lot of y'all, as one of my videos I put out, in the hallway, looking around the corner, peeping around the corner at me. Whether I do good or whether I do bad, you just watch it. And I understand I'm saying this right because it's okay. Because I know what I do is not for everybody. I went to parole and probation, right? I took a lift. And I went to call a lift to come back. I couldn't get on the internet to call a lift. So I walked down to McDonald's. I walked to try to find the internet to call a lift. Now, mind y'all, I'm running off in my mouth. I'm like, I'll catch the bus home. I ain't know nothing about catching no bus back. I was lost. When you so used to driving everywhere and not catching a bus or transportation like that, and I was lost. And some people could even tell. Young guy came by me, probably in his 30s. He's like, Unc, you all right, Unc? And I was telling him I couldn't do the internet thing, right? To call a lift. So he was like, well, you can jump in the Uber and then after he finished with us, he can, and I'm like, but anyway, I don't carry cash or nothing like that, right? So I had to at least go try to grab some money And I went to Rural Farms, then I went over to McDonald's, and I was able to get on their internet and come on back home. And the reason why I'm saying that, because do y'all know how inconvenient being on this home monitor is? I got a box truck. I can't get to my box truck. I got a green Armada. I can't get to my green Armada. I got to go get it. I went and brought a battery charger, but I think the alternator or something need replacing again, because I had it replaced before, which it shouldn't be that to keep the battery charged. It might be because the hood is not all the way down, so it might be the electric thing. But anyway, I can't even, I mean, I got to let them know what's what. So for a lot of y'all who, which I said this before, and I'm going to say it again, who might sit back and say, well, at least you're not behind bars. You're right. Physically. But I still feel like I'm behind bars. Mentally and emotionally. Physically, no, I'm not. But physically, I can't move but so far. Without them, Mr. Copeland, you're not supposed to be here. You're not supposed to be there. You ain't let us know this. You ain't let us know that. Answering to somebody when you're not used to answering to other people. Until something like this happened to you, then that's when you'll say, I understand. Now, that's why I try to listen to people and not at them. When you're talking about helping people and helping to save people's lives, right? This is not a joke. This is not a joke. And then you got people that will fight against you not to get a message of hope out. Whether it's religion, whether it's politics, or dealing with the judicial system. Mainly when they know this is what you used to doing. And I'm trying to say, I respect people to the utmost. Matter of fact, I just thought about them. I just thought about them. I don't know how involved P. Diddy is into all this other stuff that he's been accused of, right? But I've been listening to Umar Johnson, Dr. Umar. I don't know where he get his information from. But he's been running down some stuff and the reason why they're doing what they're doing, what they're doing, what they're doing. Now, how true it is, I don't know. But what he was saying, in other words, it makes you go, Now, mind you, for some of y'all, listen to the way I talk. Listen to the way Dr. Umar Johnson bring it. Listen to the way Roland Martin bring it. But now, because they was able to build a following on their progressiveness and how they deliver a message, you don't, I mean, a lot of people don't care for the way they come to you. And unless you out in the streets and you see certain things, or you in the goal like that, and you see certain things, then you understand why some of us come the way we do, or we do what we do. And you have some people that's real professional with it and elegant or eloquent, however it goes. But when you see your people hurting, and when you see your people struggling, that's not a real good feeling. And when you sit back and you see what's happening, and you won't try to reach out, like, to know community, to get more involved in with another community organization, nonprofit, stuff like that. But if you don't reach out, and then you see what's happening mainly to your own generation of people, and it's like you just rather sit back and watch and turn your head the other way just like the rest. Because when you look at it, that's all it's boiled down to. I ain't the only one, and I'm not just talking about the melanated people. I'm not just talking about us. Y'all always want to make it more about us. But because I do what I do, I see that we aren't the only people that tends to come under attack. It's just we the one that cry the loudest without actually doing something about it. Y'all don't realize that. So I'm gonna get ready to go ahead and end this. I feel my energy. I feel my energy dying down. So when my energy start dying down like that, that's just God's way of saying, all right, you can get ready to shut it down. And see, a lot of y'all don't understand when we come up and we talk about certain things, and I will ask God to move me out the way. But see, you looking at me, you're not listening to the message because you're too busy looking at me. And then you in your head, I wouldn't say it like this, I wouldn't say it like that. So you're not listening to me. You hear me, but you're not listening. That's what, when you begin to grow spiritually, that's the difference between just talking and actually speaking from your spirit. I used to didn't understand a lot of that. So you hear them, see how I'm winding down. So that's just God's way of saying, okay, you can get ready to shut it down. Because whatever I had to say to whomever, I shared it. So now I'm gonna say it again, because when I come on, it's always about keeping it real. If I come on with a topic like today, my 12-step spiritual journey. I didn't say your 12-step. I said my 12-step spiritual journey. And sharing part of that process of how I used to live a certain way of life. And I don't live that life no more, is to help people understand that you can change your old ways of thinking, your old ways of living. You can turn your life around and become a productive member in your life today, society. You can do that. But the point is, And I try to tell everybody, I don't care if it's our politicians or whomever. Sometimes you know the old statement that they make where you can lead the horse to water, but you can't make them drink. Well, you can lead that horse to water. If the horse don't know how to drink it, why you not gonna show that horse how to drink it? You got to do this. See how a lot of stuff sounds good? Like today, a lady was saying, "How you doing?" I said, "Oh, how you doing? How you been?" She said, "Oh, I can't complain." I wanted to tell her so bad. Yes, you can. Know why? Because I know how it relieves the stress. You might be going through something and you carrying it, right? And the goal is to, when you talk about it, you relieve that pressure cooker. You're relieving that pressure. This is what I learned from my 12-step spiritual journey. So if anybody asks me how I'm doing, I never tell nobody I can't complain. I might say, "Well, I'm okay," somewhere along that line. But I don't tell people I can't complain because I realize that basically just to be able to vent. And I tell people, I say, I'll listen. They like, "For real?" Because when you tell people that, guess what? A lot of people don't want to listen. That's why a lot of people don't tell you what's going on with them. But because of where I come from, through the 12-step spiritual program, I have no problem listening. If you're the type of person that need to talk 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and I did this all my life since I've been clean, I have no problem in listening. If this will prevent you from picking up, I have no problem listening. Now, because I've been in this lifestyle over here, I don't get as many 2, 3 o'clock calls in them like that. I don't get it. Now, somebody might call me 8 or 9 in the morning. Normally, I'm like, so I tell people, call me after 11. And people tell you, if you call him before 12 or 11 o'clock, he ain't gonna get that phone. But I'm trying to get better because of the business where, I can be up about 8 or 9 and I'll click my phone on. But for the most part, I'll try to rest if I don't really have nothing to do. But if you call me, you leave me a message. If I don't get right back to you, I am going to reach back out to you. If not exactly, it all depends on where I'm at and what I'm doing. Because I got a phone call today I couldn't get, but I text once I got to where I was at to let them know I was on my way over to this place. So I talked with them through texting. So I'm just saying that, y'all, because I know as a human being how important it is to have that support group. I know how important it is to be able, like with me, I can come on my live. And this is an outlet for me where a lot of y'all might look at it as social media ain't for all this and it's not for all of that. That's why it's called social media. Social media. I had to make sure I could correct that, right? Because that's the only way some people get to like mingle and socialize with others. Some of them might be locked down in the house because they're disabled and they can't move about the way they want. So this is a form for some people to communicate. That's why people make fake pages, because a lot of times they don't want people to know who they actually are. And that's understandable too. I got like 14 social media pages. They are all mine. So I don't have to make fake pages to be a part of nothing. But I get people to make fake pages that will come on my stuff to make stupid comments. And I try to welcome that too, because I feel like you got to be a miserable person coming on somebody else's stuff to start stuff. You're miserable because I ain't coming on your stuff. That's your personal stuff. Now I pick with people and I don't know you. I might make a comment on somebody else's page I know. And then somebody else might make a comment to me and say something stupid. I'm like, oh, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. Because I'll start picking with you. And then I'll put little things in like smileys after a while. I'll put little things in like love and stuff like that. So we won't take it too personal. But if you come for me, I'm going to come back. And then I forget sometimes, you got to watch certain things because people will report you just to get you blocked for whatever reason. But then my thing is, why would you come on somebody else's stuff? You want to say little stuff just to get them shut down. And the sad part about it, they will investigate you compared to the person that came for you. See, for some of us, this is business. This is how I advertise strengthening the community. This is how I advertise the stuff that I do as a community activist, as a human rights advocate. It's not a game. It's not a joke. This business for me. A lot of it is business. And I get a lot of people that respect me more than people who might look at me and once they realize what Steve do, they admire what I do. That I step up to the plate to help the abnormal people. And that's a shame. Most of the people that I might get accolades from are white. Proud of what you're doing, keep doing what you're doing. And I get it from, us melanated people, but I don't get it as much. As far as inspiration, motivation. That's why when I send stuff over TikTok, right, it all depends on where I'm at because I'm sending stuff to motivate people, to encourage people. Because you never know how a person might be feeling or where they at that time. Spiritual uplifting stuff. And I will tell you over and over and over and over, because I say it all the time. My mouth is my biggest weapon for the body of Christ. It's my mouth. Tell you I'm an ordained deacon, it flies right over your head. I am a minister, basically. I'm in ministry. Do not look for me to walk on water. You might can do it, which I know you can't, but you might can do it. I tried it. It didn't work. Well, only like the puddle and stuff like that. But for a lot of y'all that can walk on water, that's fine. I can't. I tried. Walk on the puddle, but my feet gonna be in the water. Here we talk. And I was telling Cool the other day, I said it's only certain people's shows on TikTok that I'll go on lives. Because when I hear you talking some serious, some real, really, really, really stuff, real life on life term stuff, struggles and success. And now when I hear seriousness, I'll come on. But I that's if you invite me. But like I told Cool, because I have a tendency of talking, of sharing my personal experience. And a lot of people that I listen to, they'll talk about everybody else but themselves. And that's just how they build their conversations. So when I have a tendency, I'll share an experience on whatever I done heard and what you can do to overcome certain things. And afterwards, be honest with y'all, I'm feeling like because I realize a lot of people's not looking for help in that sense. They basically just this. And they'll tell you about other people's lives to get a point across. And I was beginning to feel uncomfortable because I felt like for me, I was just getting too personal. And people was telling me that you don't have to get personal. And I'm like, that's not how I am. I can only share from a level of my experience, not my opinion, not what I think, not how I feel. I just go there. So I start learning you can't go on everybody's live, even though I get invited to a lot. And I'll be like, thank you. I'll push the thumb up. Thank you, such and such and such. But in certain ones, I might get somebody send me a message and say, oh, you should go on such and such. They over there. It's like they talking up your alley. So certain people that knows when I come with solutions. And they might they might be listening to other people that's sharing, being real. And my nephew, my nephew, he's not my nephew, but some of them younger than me that I done been on panels with, and they know where I'm at. They might send me something and say, man, you should go over to such and such and such, because they need to hear you. And I respect that. Where I used to get more love and support on my Facebook page, where I used to get with my church members, with my NA friends, with my family, um, where I feel it's like I don't even know how y'all look at me now. And I'm not even going to keep worrying about that because my goal is not to build my life around how other people think and how other people see me. That's not my business. Keep that in mind. I've been at the Church of the Redeemed for 23 years. So I know a lot of people at the Church of the Redeemed. And not many of y'all support me now. I've been in NA for 31 years, a little over 31 years. I see y'all stuff come down my feed. I'll push like, I'll push a comment, But when I look at my stuff, I might have the same 3 people out of 5,000 people. I would never do y'all like that. Never. Even if I don't like the way you bring stuff, I might push like, I might push comment, I might just to interact. But I will never, I don't do that to people. So I understand everybody ain't like you, Steve. I'm all right with me today. I'm all right with me. Sometimes it's a lonely road. But I'm with me. And I'm like, this what y'all do. When people start getting old, it's like I'm in the nursing home and my family, nobody don't call me, don't say, how you doing, how you feeling? Now, my son and my daughter is different. But the older ones with family, it's like I became the outcast. I'm like, what the what? That happened? Hey, I understand it is what it is, what it is. I understand. Everybody ain't gotta like the way you do stuff, bro. They ain't gotta check up on you, bro. You're old now. That's what they do with older people. They like push you to the side. It's a shame. Now, I ain't saying y'all do that with everybody, man. Family member wise, stuff like that. I never thought, man, my family would get like this. Not for how my mother raised us. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. So I love y'all. I'm gonna get off. I'm gonna make me some little clips onto my TikTok. And I normally do about 4. I'll send it over to TikTok. I'll I'll send it over to my Facebook page, my YouTube, my Vimeo. I send it to the pages that I can. You know, even though I'm recording on YouTube, I'll still send it. Please don't piss me off. I'll still send it over to YouTube, but I'll do it in 60-minute clips or 45 seconds. And my YouTube is really, really growing. Well, people starting to look at it more. So by me, for some of y'all that don't know, I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. Because on my Restream, it's my broadcasting network. On my Restream broadcasting network, right? See where I'm at? Now this is my Facebook page. This is not my main Facebook page. This is like a secondary Facebook page that it goes to Stephen Copeland 59. So over here, I have, this is my Teen Talk show, children right here. Now if I go on my regular Facebook page, which I just did, this is my regular Facebook page with my 5,000 Facebook friends. But I got 5.4 followers, 5,400 followers. I have 150K following. But look how many friends I got. Let me see. I got about 5,000 friends. Then see, that say followers. The limit is 5,000 friends. So what I'll do, and here I go on my regular Facebook. So I'm doing 2 Facebook pages, which, and then you got my YouTube. My X-File. I say X-File. My Twitch. Make sure I don't say Twitter. Twitter, my Twitter. Because I got Twitch and Twitter. Now I'm on this Elon Musk page. And I go live on this. I'm live on it. But now it's saying like 6 people looked at it. So I don't get as many like responds and likes the way Donald Trump might get. Let me see. Kim Clancy got 6.1K. And most people that support Kim Clancy, they are white. And I'm gonna tell you, I don't care for Twitter the way I used to since Elon Musk became a part of what your name is doing. It just don't even feel right no more. It just don't even feel right because I know he's not a politician and he's a businessman too, and he put himself into this, and it just don't even it don't even feel like it used to. There you go, Brandon Scott, Bill Henry, all of them over here. So whenever I post something, whenever I come on here, they can see my stuff too. Whether they respond to it or not, they see it. Because people look at your stuff from the background, which is called the hallway. Sorry, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and get off here, get my butt on upstairs, and take care. And I thank y'all. I just wanted to come on here and share my experience with the 12 steps, my 12-step journey. For a lot of y'all who my journey is spiritual. I am not, let me make that clear. I don't care how you might look at my face and all this type of stuff. I am not the man I used to be. I am not. I do not have to sit in no meeting. I'm not talking about everybody else. 24 hours a day and sound like a robot. Because after a while of not doing nothing different, you will begin to sound like you drunk. You will begin to sound that way. Now, the goal is for us to learn how to recover a day at a time and go back out and help others. And this is what a female told me. Because her mother, I don't know if her mother's still in the rooms or not, but she was like, aren't y'all supposed to go back, like once you learn the information, and go back and help your inner city people or the ones that's out there struggling? For a lot of y'all that don't understand, a lot of people do not know where to come at to get the necessary help. And then a lot of people that secretary meetings, you keep getting the same individuals to do the meetings. That's not how I was taught. If I had you do the meeting like 1 week, I'm not getting you back in there for another 90 days to do a meeting. Might be 6 months. Because I was told to go out and listen to other people's stories and bring them back to share their experience, strips, and hopes. But a lot of y'all will ask the same people because the secretaries are not going to other meetings during that time frame when they're not secretarying to get somebody that can come during that time frame to do the meeting. So you're too busy getting the same people to speak. And be honest, that story don't change. So you can just about certain people, you've been around as long as I have, you kind of know they're going to share the same things over and over and over and over again. Because that's their story. So when you get somebody to do it today, Wednesday, our secretary Wednesday, I got 7 more days to end up going to other meetings during this time frame to get somebody to come to do the meeting next week. Then after a while, I might call you back But see, I'm not going to call you and ask you to do a meeting unless you can share your experience. It's a big difference. Your experience, your strengths, and your hopes. And what you do, you talk a little bit about what it was like. And you go into the recovery process. See, a lot of y'all don't understand that because that's not the way a lot of y'all was taught. So you'll come in and you'll go ahead and you might share 5 or 10 minutes at an anniversary, but you're going to share about your process of using rather than sharing that message of hope and recovery. So don't get mad at me. Listen to yourself and see if you stuck. Because I know a lot of y'all is. The 90-90. I've been around, like I said, it'll be 32 years in January. I've seen how my life transformed. I've been married twice. So I can't keep talking about this. I've been married twice. I done cheated in both of my marriages. I haven't been in a serious relationship in 10 years now. So I have started experiencing some other stuff now. I remember having 8 females at one time that I was running around with. I don't have 8 no more. Now I'm not sleeping with 3, 4, and 5 a day. I can tell you the pain and that process that I went through, what I had to do in letting them go to recover from that area. Hey, what's up, Pete? I had to experience what I had to experience in order to learn from it, recover from it, to be able to share the process of coming up out of it and staying out of it a day at a time. So I'm not trying to be smart. You might feel like you can. Don't try to tell me how to share. I was already taught. I ain't been around no 15 years, no 5 years, no 10 years, no 20, no 25, no 30, a little over. So I'm able to share a process of being clean. I have more clean time. I only started using the weed at 11 and I got clean at 30. So that was 19 years. I got more clean time now than I have using. So I can basically only share on recovery a day at a time. And if you haven't, right, which I used to hear Terry share that, right? I'm sorry to say your name, but anyway, which I got 31. This guy probably got about 40 something. But anyway, I'm just saying that, right? Because some of us have more clean time than we have using. So what we do, we share a process of recovery. Some of y'all still stuck and you're using, but you swear by God because you clean, which I understand. You're clean, but you stuck. And you will share like you still powerless and hopeless with clean time. Oh, I listen. Uh-huh. We admitted we was powerless and our lives had become unmanageable. And here it is now, you got 15, 25, 10 years, and you still talking like you're powerless and hopeless? You gain power when you admit your powerlessness. You didn't know that? Your sponsor didn't tell you? Or you didn't realize it yourself? Once you admit powerlessness, you gain control in that area. That's when you come to believe that no matter what your issue is that you're struggling with, that a power greater than yourself can restore you from that obsessive and compulsive behavior. And I listen, and it's not that I'm being smart. I listen to a lot of y'all. Sound like you still drunk, but you clean. And I listen. You talk a good spiritual game, but it actually has to show in your life. Because it's not what we say out our mouths. So when I sit back and y'all miss it, now I go back in the community to help people turn their lives around. So I'm basically using what was given to me. And a lot of y'all thinking that it's supposed to be in this one spot. So now, if I tell you I'm an ordained deacon, right? Understand, I got ordained deacon. I stepped off the deacon ministry when I stepped out my second marriage. But I know deep in my heart, deep in my spirit, I am a minister for Christ. I couldn't back off the ministry. I had to keep running off of my mouth the way I do to embrace God's people. So basically, me doing this is ministry. That was it's a title, but still, I couldn't stop doing what I was doing, even though I fell short. I had to learn from it, and I don't have no problem in telling y'all what I did. Same way with Jamal Bryant. He sit here and tell y'all he didn't screw it up, he didn't done. Oh, he need to sit down, he need to do. I said, no, he don't. Y'all be like, why? I said, because the Holy Spirit ain't telling. At that time, I felt like the Holy Spirit told me. That's why I backed off the deacon ministry. But I knew I could not stop working in the ministry. That's why he haven't sat down judgmental people, because the Holy Spirit did not tell him to back up. TD Jakes too. Anytime you got somebody that's not living right, from unless you've seen it for yourself and understand that's what they're doing, and they haven't backed off, because the Holy Spirit ain't tell them. You the one to do something and then you turn around and run. Because I had ran across a lot of people that did that too. Because they fell short, right? They stopped walking in their calling. I said, you know you can't stay away too long, because your conscience gonna eat you up. See, that's what you talk when I talk about keeping it real. I can only look at me and tell you, but from if me and you talk from a personal note, and I know you truly love Christ, and you understand the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and I will tell you, in order to have peace back in your life, no matter how you stumble and fell, get back up. We fall down, we get up. Because you're falling down and getting up is motivation and encouragement for that next person. You practicing a certain way of life that's not considered as God-like is embracing somebody else. Either you need to stop your behavior, you keep practicing what you're doing, God gonna put your stuff out there. Y'all don't get that, do you? And I'm sharing from a personal level. That's why I have no problem talking about Steve. Because I had to learn from my stumbles and my falls. The point is getting back up and moving on. I can only give you what I got. I ain't got to sit up here and act all pretty. act all cute. I think I look like a Christian thug with this hat on. It's hot. Because I'm getting ready to get out this basement. But look, but look, but look. It's keeping it real. And then people, just because when y'all might not get it, right? But when I go up like this, I'm basically ministering. That's just my tone. That's my way of bringing it. But when you hear that pastor go, and the Lord said, and oh, that's good. Oh, you can relate to that, can you? Can't you? I hope I ain't hurt nobody's feelings saying that. But guess what? We fall down, but we get back up. Look at what I've been through. March the 12th, I'm sorry. Look at what I've been through. I done lost everything. I done lost everything. Even down to my drawers and socks. I had to buy stuff all over again. I'm walking down the street today. I said, God, because it's like I cannot get to my green truck. I cannot get to my white truck. I don't want to lose my stuff, but I don't have the money to bring it to me the way I want. So I'm like, God, I don't know if you telling me to let it go, because I know you're going to replace it. I don't know. I don't want to hold on. It's really nothing I can do until I'm able to go and get my car, my personal truck, both of them. One was given to me to make donations back to Baltimore City. I got to put a window in it. The guy told me that my tires went flat. He said, you can drive it, but you got to replace your tires. I got stuff on there. I haven't seen my truck since last year when they locked me up. I had to get it off the street because I didn't want them to turn around and tow my stuff, which they did. I don't want them to tow it now because I don't have that extra money to pay for it. When my niece moved out her house, all my stuff was at my niece's house. My niece grabbed her personal stuff, and the landlord threw everything away that I had, even my false teeth. And I ask y'all to help. I ask y'all to support me. I have no problem walking beside y'all. I have no problem standing beside y'all. And I'm talking about when it comes to rallies, when it comes to protests, when it comes to fighting for people's rights, for us to come together. And when I need y'all the most, and that hurts me to talk about it. And I'm going to tell y'all this. I try my best not to, judge y'all. I try my best. I try to be okay because I realize, being a community activist, being a human rights advocate, just speaking out is what got me in trouble. I'm not a terrorist. I don't fight. I don't insult nobody. I'm talking about physically. It's my mouth. My mouth is my biggest weapon. I don't have to rob. I don't have to steal from our people. But my mouth is because I defend our people. My mouth is my biggest weapon. And I wished I was like a lot of y'all. I wished it was easy just to shut down. I wish it was easy just to turn my back like a lot of y'all. So don't take the looks on my face personal, okay? Don't take when I'm in my high up mode, being loud or whatever, right? Don't take it personal, okay? Because for me, when I go, I go. And I tell people whenever you ask me to come and speak, I will start off low, but then I go. And I say, you got to do me like this to shut me down. Once you give me a signal to wind it down, start winding it down, I will. But if you don't know me, you will think something ain't right. That's how I know when you're actually listening here and when you're listening here. Because if you watch me, I'll start out like this. Then I will raise up. I will rise up. See, I know Steve. And that's why people be like, oh, you need to calm it down. You need to break it down. No, that's a form of ministry to me. Because now I'm in that war zone. That's why y'all miss it. I'm in a war zone. So I'm speaking out to whatever evil. See, I already know Steve Copeland. You don't. And if you don't speak out like I do, you won't understand. Now, I was looking at somebody's stuff the other day, and they said episode such and such and such, right? I said, God dang it, I should count my stuff. I did live streams for years. So I don't know what episode, if I was to do episode every time I come on like that, label it right. Because I'm thinking about Miss Bazemore, because she every time she opened up her stuff, she'd do episodes such and such and such, right? So she might be on episode 5 million. I'm just using that as an example, right? But with me, it's like I said, you know what? I'm gonna go count my stuff on like YouTube and all that, right? Because you skim down YouTube, and I got stuff on the couch conversation. It's a page for a couch conversation. I didn't know till a guy told me. So if you look up couch conversation, then you look up or couch, then you look up Steve Copeland, it'll pull up all my stuff for you. I didn't know till a guy told me. So the couch. Now I can go on TikTok and go up in that search bar and look for other couch, right? In relation to what I do. And it'll pull up people with couches, couch conversation. You might see a group of them. You might see one individual. So it gives me an idea because see, my thing is to do an open platform. And because I'm opening the door to a lot of people to want to come up if you want to talk. I done sent y'all the information. I done post the information. But it might not be nobody from Baltimore City that might come up. Might be somebody from Africa that might want to come in. Because y'all feel like y'all don't want to, I don't know. And then see, when you come on my stuff, you can't cover up. I just thought about that. So it's not personal. Even though I can have guests on here, Now, if you come up and you got some type of background or your screen where you can't see yourself, that's fine too. But a lot of people, it's like they don't want to be seen, associating with me. Hey, I ain't no freaking criminal. I ain't no bank robber. I ain't no unaliver. I ain't none of that. But by y'all standards, I am. I am. Y'all will put me in every category that I should not be in. I say I'm a homeless advocate. I do transitional housing, temporary to permanent. Shoot, fly over your head. I say I'm a community activist. I'm a community organizer. I'm a human rights advocate. Shoot, fly over your head. You can't even figure why Steve come on and do what he do. But now me and somebody else was talking the other day, right? And we was talking about the director of Communities United. Now, mind you, this is the difference with me. When I open up my mouth, whether I'm down City Hall, Annapolis, or DC, I come with a solution on what we can do to slow certain things down or put an end to certain things. But I found out that's not what they want. So me and somebody was talking about this because I had became a board member with Communities United. So I would come and talk about solutions. That's not what they wanted to hear. We empower people to do the necessary work. We don't provide solutions. I'm like, huh? And that was one of my directors in our biggest argument. And somebody else, because they already knew that they empower you to do the correct things rather than actually coming up with the solutions and the process and the intervention stuff. But to me, they was doing it anyway when they was out in the communities doing things. But this is not the services that they provided. So be honest, because of what I provide, I had to back up because I came in with solutions. So me and this person was talking about this yesterday, and they was telling me that was the biggest conversations that people used to have about me. But everybody wanted the solution. But because of empowering people and encouraging people to step in and do the work themselves. And a lot of people's self-esteem is low. So they don't, it's like they need somebody to walk them, hold them by the hand and walk them through a process. And I knew they didn't like me doing that. But this is what this nonprofit is all about, empowering people, not actually coming up with solutions. So you get a lot of nonprofit organizations that get money. See where I'm going? And some of them get paid to play a role. The difference with me, once I started saying it, I didn't want to be that sellout like that. But you have a lot of nonprofit organizations that has to, once they start getting funding, it's like the powers that be have their hands in on what they're doing. And it's like, no, we want y'all to do it this way. We want y'all to do it that way. That's why I didn't become a 501c3. But because of the multi-purpose center, I'm going to put the 501c3 under my LLC. I just, once again, didn't want to be a sellout. Because people be like, oh, you can get funding, or you can get this, or you could get that. I know a lot of people that do great work around Baltimore City, but they don't get funding. Because if they feel like they can't come in, your state or your federal, where the money coming from. If they feel like they can't come in, and a lot of people gonna tell you that and dictate the way they want it, done, then the next time you go to apply for that funding, you might not get the funding. And I wish somebody tell me that's not true, and I'm gonna tell you because one, I remember when Communities United got the $5 million to work over West. So I know the games you have to play, and if you don't spend that money in a certain amount of time, you might have 2 years. And if you haven't spent that money or put it back into the community, by that time, they can take that money back, whatever you have left back. Now, tell me I'm a lie, and I'm gonna tell you this here. Brandon Scott gave homeless services $92 million. I think they spent about 20 million. And they was talking about grabbing the rest of that money. Now, I'm not sure if they did or not, because the goal is when you apply for that type of funding, that money's supposed to go right back into the services. Y'all think Steve don't know what he's talking about, right? And you have a certain amount of time to allocate that money. So a lot of times what happens, it goes towards other people's paychecks. It pays people. And rather than they will give money to nonprofits that actually not doing the work that they actually say they are doing with housing and helping the homeless people. It's your numbers. I learned a lot of this through the process of what I did. It's just I'm on here talking about it. And I understand too, for the type of work that I do, I have to look for investors. I have to look for philanthropists who believe in the same type of stuff that I'm doing in order for me to get the funding or the money. I can apply money here and money there to get 25 here, maybe 5,000 there. But when you're talking about like 250,000 or 300,000 or $1 million or $2 million, you have to send your business proposal and everything or your portfolio to the type of people that believes in your vision and what you in the work you're doing. This is basically what I found out by a lot of grant writers, certain people. Once they know the type of work you do, they will send it to the type of funders or philanthropists that support your type of work. So, now mind you, I ain't getting into this for nothing. So now it's just, I'm at the point where, I'm looking to make a living out of it too. But I'm not trying to rob and take from, whenever you hear me say rob Peter to feed Paul, I'm talking about robbing from our poor people to fatten up my pockets. But God darn it, sometimes you feel like that. You're like, I want some money. I'm tired of going through it. I'm going through. You get me? I'm laughing about it, y'all, because it's like, I'm no different than anybody else. It's just my conscience, won't allow me to do certain things. And it's like, yeah, I want funding. I need to build the staff. And not only build the staff, I need employees. But the only way I can do that is I got to end up bringing in finances where I'm able to pay employees and stuff like that. And somebody was telling me too, that's why you apply for the funding, because out of that money, that will pay their salary. But then keep in mind too, out of that funding, that might only pay their salary for a year or two. then you have to reapply. Then you have to put their salary in your budget as well that you're getting. So all of this type of stuff that I'm sharing, I know basically what to do. It was just, I was trying to keep it more on the business where you have to write me a check business wise, but rather you write me a check or you write me a check as far as funding wise. It's a check, but it's a difference. You know, it's a difference with the LLC because the LLC is full profit. Then you got your nonprofit. And by right, you're not supposed to make a profit. That's why I call it nonprofit. So when you have a lot of those organizations out there, nonprofit organizations with 100 million in the bank, and they got all these hundreds of millions in the bank where they supposed to use that money back into society, UNICEF and all that. Those are the ones I'm talking about. But you might have their CEOs or you know their presidents that's running the company making 2.5 million a year, something like that, right? But they actually supposed to take that and you know put it back. But you don't hear them talking about pulling that funding from them a lot. That's why I be so amazed when I listen to people who want to talk about politics, who want to talk about certain things that you see from the outside, but you're not really involved in the inside to see what's happening and why things are happening the way they are. And then I'll hear about one person on a panel, like 8, 9 altogether, that might speak my language because they better understand what's going on. And it's not personal, y'all. I get fired up with stuff like this because that's what I realize. I'm this right here, my mouth is my biggest weapon when it comes to fighting against corruption and all that stuff. Rather it's the police department, rather it's politics itself. Now, what I'm learning, if I call your name, I ain't gonna call you last name, but if I call you out, that's because I know you took it personal towards coming to for me. You took it personal. You took it personal. And my thing is, who's coming for me? As a community activist, as a human rights advocate, I'm basically considered as a lawyer for the people. So who's trying to shut me down? Who's trying to shut my mouth? My cousin told me. I think the person came down North Carolina, something like that, right? And she knew, she heard the last name Copeland. And she asked my cousin, do you have any relatives in Baltimore named Copeland? They was talking about me. I didn't even ask her. What did they say after that? Know why? Because I know my mouth is my biggest weapon when it comes to fighting for our people. And a lot of people don't like it. Now, the sad part about it, I'm talking about my brothers and my own people. Y'all think I'm a threat. I'm a threat. I'm a threat because I try to warn y'all by running off at my mouth, telling y'all what they trying to do to us or what they doing to us and all this type of stuff. but I'm the threat. 10 people were shot in Towson. One unalive. Y'all don't think they don't know who did it? I don't know if it was one individual. I don't know how many it was that went to that funeral or caught them coming out. I don't know. Right? Y'all don't think that was planned out? It was retaliation? So somebody knew they was going to go do what they did. Now, nobody is basically going to tell. Could have been me up there. Could have been you up there showing your respect and just got caught up in it. You know what I mean? Y'all don't think whoever prepared it to go there and whoever went and the people that was there don't know who it probably was that did it? But now, is the police going to find out who did it? Because now people got to talk. And if you don't, what you doing, you leaving the door open for them to go do it to somebody else. Because we'll go back to the old saying, snitches get snitches. I mean, snitches get stitches. So retarded. It's like, do we think we just do it just to do it and then want to brag? Because you know they're going to brag about, yeah, because we went up there, damn, no, damn, no. And then probably get on social media rapping all about it, such and such and such, telling on themselves. And the only reason why I'm saying that, right, because it's like we don't think things through. If you get caught, well, you do the crime. You're going to do the time. And then if you get caught or you didn't go do it, I'm going to tell you now, and you just drove with them, but you wasn't even a part of nothing, you're guilty by association. Rather they catch the people that actually did it or not. Now I'm listening to them talking about the car had flipped over and all this and that. I'm just, because I wasn't going to, I just happened, I was skipping through it. I ain't even want to hear it. But on YouTube, I ended up ran across something and I got stuck. So I ended up seeing the video of what they was talking about. And as a person that comes from that lifestyle, not to that degree, I'm just saying, the streets. And you know, a lot of times, if you don't take care of stuff by yourself and y'all plan it out, eventually, if somebody get caught, they're going to tell. So I haven't followed it too much other than I did listen to it today. I had made a statement and somebody sent me something because of my statement. And the only thing, the statement I was making, right, streets no street, real no real, you know. And a lot of times before we do anything, we plan it out. Mainly something like that. It's already planned it out. So now, unless you just don't care, uh, you had to hope and pray that don't nobody tell or snitch that you was one of the ones. And I try to encourage my family not to get involved in certain things, you know, mainly if I know you didn't grow up like that. And I would hate to see you go behind bars. I was only over there 11 months. First time in my life. I'm not a freaking animal. And most people you see behind bars, and I ain't talking about people, are animals. They're wild animals. And they are dangerous. So that's why they're behind bars. You're lion, tigers, and bears. Oh my. So when you act or behave the way you do, this is how they see you as a wild animal. You're not an animal. You're not an animal. You're not a wild animal. But when you become a danger to society, like a wild animal, they put you in cages. You don't deserve it. But now, if you do the crime, sad part about it, you have to do the time. And when I was over there, because I know I didn't do nothing wrong or to be here or deserve to be here, stuff like that, I could not look at this as as home. And when I was talking to the guy the other day, and I told him I like his mindset and stuff like that because he's willing to do whatever time he got to do, and he all right with it. The way he was talking, it's like, this might be God's way of teaching me this and showing me that and blah blah blah. And I just love the way he looked at it, right? But see, I didn't see that until a little bit afterwards. This is God's way of showing me stuff that, I would never have really paid attention to, blah, 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 on. So just to hear what he was saying, I said I couldn't get my mindset. I knew I was going home. It was just when. And his thing is, he's willing, they wanted to offer him like 10 years, all suspended before. So he said, no, I'm going to keep fighting. I'm going to fight it. And he said, now, if he lose and he got to do the regular time they trying to offer him, he all right with that. I'm like, because this he didn't do. But it was some stuff in the past that if he go to court and they try to tie it into this, it will make him look like he was actually a part of this, even though he wasn't a part of this. So now, once again, here go that word. He's really considered with the district attorney as being guilty by association for some stuff being on his phone. So you can read into the rest. And I just love the part that he accept the fact that basically it is what it is. He said he didn't know it, that somebody downloaded whatever, but it is. And I was like, wow, because I'm going to tell y'all that messed me up for the 11 months I was there. It took me 2 weeks to realize I was seriously home. Because I would go to sleep and wake up and I would dream I'm home, and I wake up and I look around, I'm still in this place. So I'm only saying that because we had people who've been in prison for stuff they didn't do since they was like 16, 17, and they've been in there 20, 30, 40 years. And just coming home, and I'm like, how did you manage mentally to cope with that? But this is what he told me. Rather than losing his mind, he accept the fact that that's home for now. I said I couldn't get comfortable like that. But I love the way he put it. He said because what he had to do, realize basically it is what it is. Because that messed me up for something I did not do. And I knew the two clients that they tried to say I hurt knew. And then to turn around and listen to this prosecutor, and you know from the paperwork and what you're saying, you know I'm innocent. I'm innocent is all I'll do. Is I had to make sure I say the right word. But you just want me to be a part of something. And we need to find a way to twist that. We need to find a way to twist that guilty by association. Cause I will throw in your face like this. That's just like me and my friend and a girl female in the living room watching TV. They go in the room. Now I don't know what they going in there to do. Well, you know, if they go in the room, I figure they're gonna go do the booty boo, right? But then she hollered, he raped him. He raped her. But y'all can't find him. But y'all know I was there, but I was in the other room. So y'all want to charge me with the rape and stuff. And I can ready to say something with the TikTok thing. Tap, 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 y'all. And go shopping. Go to show. I hear people say that too. Go shopping. Go on the shop list. Tap, 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 tap. But look, I was hearing because I'm just looking at what they doing, how they. So you gonna say that that's just like somebody go to a gas station and they go in to get a soda and some coffee, whatever, but they do something different. But you gonna say because I drove them there. This is what me and another guy was talking about. And this guy can't even walk. But it's like he drove that person somewhere to do what happened. So all of a sudden, this person going to get papers filed out on him. Like he was the one that actually did it himself. Now, my thing is, as the detectives, because it was y'all that gave them that information. The prosecutor. It was y'all that gave the prosecutor the information that y'all supposed to have discovered through your investigation. So they using your information. Just like the fake phony police report with the officer and the detective. I didn't know the case was actually closed now because I did a plea agreement. I don't even remember in the conversation, no 3 years parole and probation. I was told to come off the home monitor only to be put back on the home monitor. But guess who got to pay for it this time? Me. And she told me, she said, that's because they found you convicted. I said, what? Because I didn't realize it was closed. Because my lawyer told me he was going to do something different, blah, blah, blah. I didn't know that was the conviction part. I don't know nothing about that. So really, I feel like now I was lied and manipulated with. I pleaded guilty to something I did not do. And she said it. It's on paperwork. And she was flip-flopping. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to start reaching out to other organizations that I can get to help fight this. Because guess what? She should have left it alone. She should have left it alone. Because that was my goal. I said I'm going to sue the Eastern District Police Department in Baltimore City for what they did. But once God opened up that door and I came off, I said, okay, maybe that's a sign for me to let it go. And don't pull people in it. So now, V, because you opened up that door, do you think I'm going to just let it go like that? No. Mainly after I heard you say the stuff you did out your mouth. We know you didn't do this. We understand you didn't do that. But I'm guilty. That's not what we talked about. And I'm going to take you back to this, and I am going to get up. Well, at least you ain't behind bars. At least you ain't this. At least you ain't that. And God knows I'm not. But ask me how I feel mentally, emotionally. Ask me how I feel trapped with this home monitor on my leg. Ask me. And sometimes I try my hardest to forget it's there. Next thing I know, it goes off and I got to put it on the charger. Because I'm limited to what I can do. Do y'all realize this is a form of slavery? You can't see it, can you? You can't see it. Because you will say this, and thank God I am home. I ain't behind their bars. But ask me how I personally feel. 62 years old. Used to moving about and doing what you want to do. And then you got to do everything according to the way they want you to do it, so you won't end up violating anything where you can be kicked, put back in somewhere. So I told the parole lady today, I said, how often do I need to come in? How often do I need to call you? Because I ain't trying to violate this bull junk. I'm 62 years old. The freak I want to go be sitting behind somebody's bars for. Now, I don't come off this till March. I did not know that until ASAP told me today. You only have to pay for it till March. I'm like, what? Nobody really explained this stuff to me. And somebody need to hear this because I'm not the only one they doing this to. I'm just the only one that's running off at my big mouth. And as a community activist, community organizer, as a person that worked with these nonprofits and stuff that speaks out for people, human rights, civil rights, constitutional rights, y'all really disappoint me because nobody, and y'all hear me, saying, Steve, we got you. So this brother that was on here, I definitely got to reach out to him. And I ain't talking about on Facebook. I'm talking about on TikTok. Who actually, he's a community activist. So he understands the laws and and how they go beyond. So he told me reach out to him. He said, I'll tell you what to do. And I am, now that I have a more clear understanding. And I am going to reach back out to Fox 45 News. Because if this officer did this to me, and this detective did this to me, I can only imagine how many other melanated men in the inner city they got arrested for stuff they didn't really do. Or they might have got arrested for one thing and got 150 charges on that. So that gives the prosecutor time to play with stuff. See, y'all, like I said, y'all mess with the wrong big mouth dude. Y'all mess with the wrong big mouth dude because I wouldn't have understood this process. So it starts with the police. So if you're a corrupt police and you know a person might be carrying a half a bottle of Diet Pepsi, but you want to turn around and say he had a fifth of Diet Pepsi, but it was actually Thunderbird in it. But you want to give him 40 charges on this one can. Because what you doing, you giving the prosecutor something to play with. And then if they on screen, they can't tell the judge, like, well, Your Honor, this what really happened, that's what really happened, because I was trying to tell her, Mr. Copeland, you can't speak. Oh, so it's like they can come up with all the plans they want about me, but Mr. Copeland can't be a part of their plans. Oh, he is a part of their plans, but he's not involved. It's like, we're going to do this for you, sir. We're going to make you guilty and make you guiltier. And if you let me talk, that's what I'm going to tell you. Forget that innocent until proven guilty, because y'all showed me you are guilty until we find more to make you guiltier. So next time one of y'all want to tell me, watch the way you say something, watch the way you think that, watch the way you do that, that's because you are afraid. All right? Don't blame me. Because you want to try to be cute with it. Step into my arena and then talk that bull junk. And then guess what? I'm running off at my mouth, right? But the moment something like that happened to one of y'all, oh, that's right. I remember when Steve was on his live sharing such and such and such, but I can't tell him that I was in the hallway looking at him while he was on his live talking about what they did to him. Almost came on 4 o'clock, almost 3 hours. So when you ask Stephen Lavelle Copeland how you feel, I ain't gonna tell you I can't complain. Don't nobody want to listen, because I'm gonna come on my live. And if don't nobody want to listen, don't tune in. But I guarantee you somebody somewhere need to hear what I had to say. Either you already caught up where I'm at, or you never knew you might be next. I never thought I would be where I'm at, ankle bracelet wise. And as many people as I support, and I ain't talking about just melanated, like nonprofits and stuff like that. I'm talking about different cultures. Nobody reached out to say, let's go support him. He ain't like that. And thank God, my youngest, because I speak out for people, that my family, like I was telling the probation officer today, my family don't understand why I do what I do. Standing up for people. Speaking out. And I'm sitting over in the probation office. I started to wear a suit and a tie just to be smart. I said, no, I ain't gonna do it. I'm gonna get close to it, but I ain't gonna do it. And sometimes people know you are not the person people trying to make you out to be, but they have a job to do because they got to follow the paperwork. And I told her, I know, because you don't know. And I said, I'm not going to take you through that. I ain't wanted to tell her that guess what? We got a contract with y'all that we work with the homeless people. I mean, the ex-offenders and returning citizens, the parole and probation people who need a place to stay. I ain't tell her that. Everything happened for a reason. Know why I ain't say nothing? Because number one, I can learn from this right here how they do things. Mainly when you don't follow direction. Why they do what they do. So I can encourage the next person not to violate whatever parole and probation they have. See, we have to flip stuff around to change it and put it more in a more positive way. But you can't do it unless you like been in the dark and you're out of the dark. And I'm going to say this one more time. My mouth is my biggest weapon for the body of Christ. Okay? I know where I'm at in the ministry. My journey is not religious. It's not based around religion. My connection is more spiritual now. And I learned to grow into that. Religion and spirituality is two different things. I know all that. And I could sit here and tell you too, say like if I'm talking to somebody who which we trying to guide towards salvation. I know what it's like to fish for men. I was taught. I know what it's like to fish for men. Ain't that what Jesus told the disciples? That he's gonna make them fishers of men. Come follow me. I'm gonna make y'all fishers of men. I don't care if some of that was fake and phony to a lot of y'all. But when you look at the calling on ministers or pastors or bishops or elders, deacons on their lives, is to go back out in the community and help the most vulnerable generation of people, which are his people. See, I know what I was called to do because I had to study to show thyself approved unto him, not the man first, to him first. So now that I know what to do, it's just walking in that calling. And it's not about being perfected. Maybe your religion is teaching you that. Do I deliberately go around, like I said, and just do this and do that and do this? Some things, but for the most part, no. Some things I don't feel right doing no more. And I just don't do. But God dang it, some stuff I just want to do what I want to do, what I want to do. And that's trying to keep it simple. All right, love y'all. And I'm going to go ahead and end this. It's been 3 hours now. So we like an hour and 45 minutes over. No, 45 minutes. Turned out to be 3. Did I add it right? But love y'all, and I'm going to end this.